Hi, this is Jim Wuelenweber from NEATV. We'll be on Quad Radio next.
Hello and welcome to Quad Radio, the voice of the ATV racing nation. I'm Rodney Tomlin, and this is Quad Radio. Our guest, of course, coming up is Mr. Jim Wuelenweber from the New England ATV. Kind of a new face up there in the North. Well, he's not a new face in the Northeast, but he is as far as any ATV racing is concerned. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and what the plans are and what hopes to be something growing and something big coming in the future. First, I want to say a few thanks to a lot of folks that help make things possible. I want to shout out to a good friend. You see this banner behind me, DP Brakes, of course, stepping up and doing such a great job and supporting Quad Radio through so many avenues. Of course, financially, we want to say thanks to them for that. But more importantly, and as important, I think all the support that they give us through social media. I want to say thanks to Larry Mills. Thank you very much, buddy. You don't know how much it is appreciated, the extra support that you give us. And, of course, our good friends at Root River Racing, supporters of national and regional and local ATV events and racers all across the nation and quite possibly maybe even the world. As far as we know, they reach out a lot of places, and we certainly appreciate all the help that they give with us. And, of course, with the D6 Ultimate Quad Challenge, which is another one of the local series that is a great series as well. I want to say thanks to 88 Live to Ride, Racing Toward Rider Safety. That is a great organization, and, of course, they are at the national ATV events a lot, but they're also available outside of that. You can log on to their Facebook page. You can get in contact with them, find out a little bit more about what they're about, but they do some great things. They also do some great things at the racetrack with the Walking Wounded, having the mobile medical unit and everything there. Also want to take this opportunity to say special thanks to our good friends out in Kaukauna, Wisconsin, Jansen Motorsports. Haven't talked a lot about those folks lately, but doing a great job. Keeping motor builds fresh and keeping folks going. Really appreciate you guys. And, of course, want to remind you, quadradio.net, the store on there, the merchandise store, that is a way to help keep Quad Radio up and rolling. And as much as anything, help spread the word with the Quad Radio swag. We got hats, beanies, T-shirts, a couple different designs. Help spread your voice of the ATV Racing Nation Quad Radio. And, of course, with that, all that good stuff, we turn things over to Mr. Jim Wuelenweber, who's up in the great Northeast there in New Hampshire. Am I correct? Did I catch that right, or did I already forget that?
Yeah, that's correct. We're up in Bow, New Hampshire, just outside Concord, the state capital.
State capital. And, man, you know, first and foremost, I'm real ignorant as far as the Northeast is concerned. There's, to me, you know, I look at that and you think either there's like millions of people or nothing but vast forest and woodlands and things like that. What is it really like up there in that area, Bow, New Hampshire?
Yeah, you're pretty correct. I mean, we have Boston, you know, it's probably about 1 million people. You come further north, you come, the less people. I mean, I think the biggest city in the state of New Hampshire is about 100,000 people. So and we definitely have vast wilderness and lakes and all that beautiful scenery to see up here. So
hence the side-by-sides and the ATVs. It's real easy, I guess, to get into things like that up there, huh?
Oh, very easy. I mean, the New Hampshire Trail Bureaus, Maine Trail Bureaus, Vermont have a vast riding areas, snowmobiling areas, recreational areas.
So, I mean, that's something that I know, as crazy as this sounds, and I don't want to alert the tree huggers or anything like that, but, I mean, that area, unlike the West Coast, the left coast over there, people are more receptive to a lifestyle like that, a motorized lifestyle where you go out and enjoy nature and, you know, respectfully on it, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I think the state likes it. It's obviously that brings in revenue to the state, brings people in, helps, you know, sales of four-wheeler side-by-sides. I mean, the biggest thing is the state of New Hampshire and all these other states have to work very hard to get landowner permission to make sure everybody's, you know, obeying the laws and whatnot.
Right, and I'm sure it's probably governed pretty strictly, but at the same time, as strict as it is, it's nice to have that opportunity, right?
Absolutely, yes, it is.
And I understand you guys have a lot of snow, so you guys probably do a lot of sled riding, I imagine, throughout the winter, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. We have multiple snowmobiles. We go up to Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. We go up to Maine. We ride all over the place.
That's pretty amazing. So I know folks out in the Buffalo area, and they didn't get near the snow that normally, folks get throughout the winter. What was things like up in the New England area?
We had a pretty average winter, I would think. I'm just guessing. We probably had 5, 7 inches of snow this year.
Wow, that's say that one. You kind of skipped. How many inches of snow?
Probably 65 to 70
65
inches of snow.
Yeah. Now, when it comes, does it stay on all winter, or does it kind of go and come back? And
Typically, right before Christmas, we have first snow, and snow just melted actually yesterday.
really,
But we
wow,
still snowmobile in northern New Hampshire. They're still 5.5 feet.
wow. So there's still some sled riding going on. And here we are already, and it's springtime and stuff like that. Now, how does that affect the ATV riding community and racing community up in New England?
I mean, wintertime. I mean, they take it off just like if you were with the Nationals, whatnot. I mean, you're gonna take the whole winter off anyways. So, but as far as trail riding, UTVs, ATVs is not permitted during the wintertime on snowmobile trails.
Right. So does that lend its hand? Do you guys do a lot? Is there racing of snowmobiles up in that area? Is that done a lot up in that neck of the woods?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a couple different smaller snowcross series up here. Yep.
That's pretty cool. I've never really talked to anybody from that area in depth like that. So I got a lot of questions about the area. So tell me a little bit about you, Jim. You obviously Bow, New Hampshire. You got a son, Cole Wuelenweber. We recognize him from the national ATV scene. Did quite well this past season, working with Travis Moore and the 969 Motorsports team, and that was, just all around good showing, good kid. I met you guys down there. I thought a great family. And then this past fall, I started hearing rumors of you guys maybe, or I guess it was probably over the winter that you guys were in the process or had bought the NEATV and were looking to focus a lot of efforts and attention to helping build ATV racing up in the Northeast. I guess that's my knowing of what's going on in a nutshell.
Yep. Yep. Yes, that same thing. We're started racing probably about 2014. Ran a couple of years. I'd met Travis Moore while he was a pro up here. Him and my son happened to kick it off, and a few years later, Cole wound up on Team 969, winning 2 national championships, and he was really looking to get into the UTV scene instead of just ATVs. Actually, do a little bit of both, and started looking at different, Lucas and different UTV rallies, and were approached about purchasing any ATV, and decided to pull the trigger on it, where he could race UTVs and his 4-wheeler there.
Well, that makes it pretty convenient, make sure there's a venue to make sure that happens. Now, I guess a lot of people are probably wondering what style of UTV racing. Is it going to be a moto style? Is it going to be on the exact same tracks, or are they going to be tamed down? I mean, how's that all going to work?
Yep, it'll actually be on the exact same motocross tracks we race ATVs on. They don't tame it down. I mean, we run them usually Saturday afternoons and usually Sunday because they do tear the track up. Depending on what track we're at, we could have anywhere from 5 to, I've seen as many as 20 plus on the gate.
Wow, that's that'd be pretty interesting to watch that go down. That's for doggone sure. So with that, obviously, I mean, the NEATV, it's the series that I've heard a lot about over the years. I don't know the numbers. I don't know how strong it has been, but the one thing that I have and do know about it is it's been around for a while, and it has produced some really good racers coming out of it. Your son, for one, and you know, and we've had some national caliber talent that has came from there or have gone there and you know, made a mark in that series as well, like Travis Moore, for example. Tell me a little bit about the NEATV. Obviously, this is your first year of involvement, but it's been around for a while. Do you know the history of it, how it got it started and stuff?
I think it kicked off back in the mid-2000s, back in the heyday. Of course, there's unfortunately was some downturn, economic downturn, and things kind of thinned back out. We're gradually starting to build it back up. We were fortunate enough to purchase it. Now we're actually going to put some more money into it and sponsors and, you know, stuff like that to get the numbers back up. Actually, with just new ownership, the sponsors we've actually picked up, I definitely think our membership numbers are up substantially from the last few years. But we're also contributing to pro purses. We got some sponsors that are putting in the UTV purse and stuff like that.
Right. That's nice. That'll be nice to help build that up. So basically, this is a grassroots thing that you got going on. And that's one thing that, if anybody's talked to me on a personal level about things, and maybe even heard me talk about it here on Quad Radio, the one thing that I preach constantly, Jim, is grassroots, grassroots, grassroots. For so many years, it seems like we've been trying to grow the ATV racing, an ATV market and family from the national, from the top. And I don't think we can grow it from the top down. We got to start somewhere at the bottom and build a foundation and work it up. You know, I mean, at one time that was a really good foundation, and, you know, but we really got to have series like the NEATV. We've got to have the series like the, you know, down in Texas, the Power Sports Association, what these got going on down there, and all across. You know, I'm talking about the West Coast Quad series, the Northeast Quad series over, or Northwest Quad series over there. It's series like that, that Southeast Quad's another one. FTR's got series down there in the South. I mean, you know, they are out there. They just need the little publication, and they need people to start coming to them. And the great thing about it is there's a lot of riders on the East Coast that can kind of filter up and utilize the NEATV for training grounds for the Nationals, I believe.
Oh, absolutely. That's where my son Cole came from, and we started racing him, I believe it was 2014, so he hasn't even been riding that long. We got brought in by Dave Therian from DRT and just kept going and going and going, and, you know, here we're 4 years later, he's a, you know, national champion with a lot of hard work and effort. But I think you're right, grassroots, NEATV, all these smaller series is where everybody came from.
Yeah, and don't let me forget D6 too, not too far from where you guys are. They having their first race this past weekend at Budds Creek Motocross Park, and haven't really heard how things are going. I know I talked to Rob Boehner on Friday night. I think it slipped up on me. I didn't realize it was this weekend. I was thinking it was coming up, but anyway. Yeah, I know that it's good that started and that's gotten underway. And I kind of wonder, you know, I kind of understand what's going on with the D6 series. How about the NEATV? Now, is this a standalone series? Do you guys go to tracks and it's an ATV only, an ATV and UTV only event? Do you share the weekend with motorcycles? How does an NEATV event work if folks were planning on coming up? What would they expect to see?
So we have 10 races a year, multiple different tracks. And when we go in for the weekend, we have a practice day Saturday, kids racing Saturday afternoon, and then basically all the big guys race all day Sunday. So we have no dirt bike classes, nothing like that. We do basically take over the facility for the weekend. And we do have some combined races also, like D6 at Hemans. D6 and NEATV, and I believe District 34 all combined that weekend.
Well, it's great. So, you guys are all working together, trying to pull from each other. I think that's a neat concept and a great idea, and I hope that other people look into doing that as well. So, yeah. Wow. That
was actually at Hurricane Hills, not Hemans. Sorry.
Okay.
We all collaborate. So. And we're looking at some other races maybe next year, Rob Bonner, and then maybe we can collaborate more to have more riders on the gate to just this year we bought it quick, didn't have a lot of time, and had no track scheduled second week of January. So it was a lot of hustling to actually get it done.
So what tracks are you guys scheduled at this year?
We got Central Cycles in Connecticut. We have Winchester Motocross track out in Keene, New Hampshire, Winchester, New Hampshire, Hurricane Hills, Paradox, NHMX, which is right here in New Hampshire, and Holiday Mountain, I think was our last one we were going to.
Great. So sounds like a nice schedule, a good variety of tracks. What are the tracks like? Are they each one of them kind of different in the types of soil and stuff, or is the soil?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we have sand tracks. We have some that are nice clay-based tracks. We have a pretty good variety of different styles of tracks.
Now, do you guys have a website where folks can go or follow you, obviously, on Facebook or something like that?
Yeah. So it's www.neatv-mx.com.
Okay. And there, all the details and information is available then, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can actually go on there, see where every race is. You can actually pre-enter in races, see where people placed. All the scoring and stuff gets posted weekly.
All right. Well, stay right there for just a second. I'm going to take a quick break, and whenever we come back, we'll continue talking about NEATV. We'll get some, maybe get to know you a little bit more personally. So when we go up there, we know what kind of racing and so forth to expect. And, of course, a whole lot more, I'm sure. So stick around. Quad Radio will continue right after this.
Hi, I'm Walker Fowler, and this is a DP brake rotor. And these are DP brake pads. Larry Mills and DP Brakes have been a part of my program for over a decade. Recently, we completed the Heartland Challenge, a 10-hour ATV endurance race that is not only physically demanding, but demanding on my machine and my parts. And that is why we choose DP brake pads. At the end of the race, we had 0 brake failures, and they looked brand new. If you aren't using DP brakes, what's stopping you? Literally.
Quad Radio is made possible in part by Root River Racing, supporters of amateur and professional racing on the local, regional, and national levels. And Root River Racing invites you to follow their Facebook page and the D6 Ultimate Quad Series Facebook page, where you can keep up to date with one of the nation's premier local championships. Impact Solutions is your factory-authorized Elka suspension dealer in the USA. Located in Little Hocking, Ohio, give them a call today for service, parts, warranty, and sales, as well as technical support, 740-989-2026. And be sure and give them a like on Facebook. Impact Solutions.
Hi, this is Stephanie from JSR Moto Designs. JSR Moto Design specializes in replacement Nerf bar nets for all makes and models that can be fully customizable to your needs. Our custom apparel can be specifically designed for your race team. We can help make what you wear personal on and off the track, including embroidered or printed hoodies, jackets, t-shirts, hats, jersey lettering, butt patches, and more. Check us out at jsrmotodesigns.com or find us on Facebook and Instagram.
And welcome back to Quad Radio. Rodney Tomlin here, along with Jim Wuelenweber from New England ATV UTV Racing. And, of course, we're talking a little bit about not the new series, but one of the newer series on the local regional scene, I guess you could say. But it's obviously one that has come with a lot of great reputation. As we learned from Jim, this started back in the early 2000s there, of course, in the heyday of ATV racing. He having the opportunity over the winter to purchase this New England ATV series, and they're really hoping to expand and grow things up there and the series itself. And of course, I'm sure, I guess the word I'm looking for is expose people to the ATV racing realm and racing world. 10 different venues, Jim, that you guys have got lined up coming up here for 2019. And welcome to the ATV racing world again. Like we said, Cole, his son, a 2-time national champion, won himself a couple of national championships. And With that, Jim, here we are. I guess as we look at the series, first and foremost, let's ask, when is your first race? When can people expect to see the first gate drop for NEATV?
It's actually April 6th and 7th up at Central Cycles in Connecticut.
Okay, and that will be the same day that Texas is going on, right?
It is, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And I realize that, there's a lot of folks that, that's a long drive, especially like you say, the closest track for you is, what is it, Unadilla? It's a 7-hour drive for you to Unadilla. So to say that you guys it's going to be conflicting, I don't necessarily think it's going to be conflicting. It's good to see that. So one thing that I'm going to say, make sure you go racing April 6th and 7th. You don't have an excuse not to. If you think you're over on the East Coast and Texas is way too far for you and it's one of those that you want to drop for the national scene, be sure and go up and support these guys because we got some good things going on up there. So tell me a little bit about the race. Where's it going to be and what's the plans? This is going to be your first, I guess, big excursion as a promoter, huh?
It is, yeah. Like I said, we're getting kind of ramped up for it. SSI's making us banners, stuff like that right now, new tents. Just trying to gather up last-minute giveaways. And like I said, the first one will definitely be an interesting time, I guess.
Now, Jim, here's a big question. I've been in the motorsports world, for 25 years now. Like most people, I grew up trail riding and riding my dirt bikes and my four-wheelers and things like that. That was well before the side-by-sides, but we had the Odysseys and things like that we used to ride back in the day. Man, seriously, you've been racing and I'm not trying to put you on the spot by no way, shape, or form because you're in a hot spot and you're going to be in a hotter spot that I'm going to say. But man, no experience in promoting races that I'm aware of. You love the sport, and I'm sure, and I've done it a million times myself. I've been to races and say, I think I can do this better. This needs this. This needs that. If I had the opportunity, I'd do this and I'd do that. Is that the circumstance and the situation that you ever found yourself in? I mean, just curious. I mean, is that kind of?
It's a first for us. I just figured the Payne family had it for quite a few years. They did a great job, but it was kind of time to pass the torch. I have a little bit different ideas, a little bit different contacts than maybe some of the other people. My big thing is just to make it grow. Do some payouts, give back to the little kids, give back to the riders, try to get the numbers up, plug it real hard on social media because let's face it, that's what the sponsors want. They want to be on social media and, to help them advertise.
And from what I'm getting at the core of this, Jim, it sounds to me like you just basically want to help grow ATV racing. I mean, you want to help be a part of the new birth, the new life, I guess you could say, because that's kind of what we're headed into at this particular point, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like I said, I want a new breath of fresh air, I guess, into the series. Like I said, just help really promote the series, and like I said, hopefully we do a good job with it. I'm pretty confident we're gonna do well.
Now, you got people obviously track prep. I mean, people are going to wonder. I mean, here's this guy. He's been coming to the races 4 or 5 years. He's watched it from over the fence. Does he really know how to prepare a track? And I'm sure that sounds kind of silly. I think it's a lot more difficult than what people realize, and I think you know that. And I also think that you're smart enough not to try to handle this all by yourself too.
Oh, no, I got a good core group of people behind me. Obviously, my wife, Betty, my son, Cole. I have a lot of people I've met over the years. I can have questions that help me through. I mean, right down from like Travis to, Root River, the Tremellin family. I mean, I've asked a lot of questions and everybody's been real helpful. As far as track prep, this, that, I mean, we do own a fiber optics company. We do underground construction. So we do have bulldozers. We have any type of equipment. 9 times out of 10, the track actually takes care of that. But I also have people like Tommy Lombardo, who grooms Walden and a lot of bigger tracks every week. That's more than happy to jump in and give a helping hand.
Perfect. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, it's not like you're flying into this blind. I mean, you are, anybody that does this is, I'll tell you that right now, because I've been around it. I've tried to promote races. Speaking from personal experience, it's not an easy task, from the promotion end of it to the track building, to the track maintenance. You know, I did it a little differently than the way that you're doing it. But still, nonetheless, it's not something you're flying blind into. That's kind of the concept that I'm trying to get out to the people right now.
Yeah, no, we definitely have a good core group of people, and I definitely have a laundry list of people if I need to call or need help or support that I can definitely get involved with.
So tell me a little bit about the riders up there. What's the reception? I know that, you know, when change can sometimes be an exciting an exciting time. Change can also be a time of turmoil. What's the general feel, I guess? What are people feeling like in the New England ATV series? Are they excited for the breath of life, or do you have a lot of dissension because there's going to be change?
No, actually, it's been a big welcome from everybody, as far as I can tell. Like I said, I haven't had any negativity. People are excited about change. Maybe some different ideas brought back into the series and whatnot. But no, everybody's been very, very positive, very helpful. It's been really actually a pleasure so far.
So what's been your biggest obstacle so far, Jim, as a promoter?
I guess the biggest obstacle was actually purchasing it right around the first of the year with no races whatsoever scheduled at different tracks. Typically by end of January, first week of February, tracks are booked for the season, especially with certain dates we needed to fill. So that was probably the biggest hurdle, was to get the tracks lined up, get them locked in, get deposits on them so we actually can secure the tracks. The next biggest hurdle was actually getting people that'll help promote the series, you know, sponsors, this, that, because typically by January 1st, they've exhausted all their means for advertising. But with a lot of hard work and a lot of phone calls and help from other people in the race community, we picked up some good sponsors, and I think it's all going to go well.
So with the obstacles that you faced and the direction you're heading and changes, what is going to be the biggest change? What are you bringing to the table you feel that has been kind of missing?
I think a lot more just promotional stuff, advertising. We're going to try to advertise locally, hopefully on local TV stations, flyers, basically just trying to get the word out in the street. And same thing, cash incentive for pro classes, UTV classes that my company JBC Utility is going to actually do payouts out of my own pocket, which will also draw people back in. Right.
Now, has the NEATV, what's the numbers been like up there? Have they been steady? Have they been falling? Have they been gaining?
It's kind of tough to judge, really. I know that they've fallen off, obviously, enough since the heyday. I believe last year was probably about 150 members. This year, I definitely see surpassing over 200.
Wow, that's good. And tell me a little bit about that. You guys are not a sanctioned body by the American Motorcyclists Association, what we deem is, I guess you could call, outlaw, which is perfectly fine. I mean, I'm not poking at that. We were joking about that a few moments ago. I think it's a pretty cool that you called it outlaw, even though it's not. I mean, it ain't like you guys are a bunch of outlaws out there trying to make things happen. This is going to be, I mean, when you do this, it's something that you're going to be trying to do right?
Absolutely. If you go on our website, we have a complete rules regulation. So it's an outlaw series where it's not an AMA sanctioned series. But as far as rules regulations, they're all right in there. We are going to abide by them. We do have referee that will be there. There is tech inspection, every single race. It's going to be a well-oiled machine, hopefully, here in the next few races.
So with that, people don't have sanctioning fees to pay through our membership dues through the American Motorcyclists Association, AMA, but to help you guys do what you guys need to do and make the club and the organization strong. I'm sure there is, and I haven't asked you this, but I'm sure there's a membership fee, correct?
There is a membership fee. Yep. Yeah, we have a membership fee that obviously if you're a single person, you buy a membership. If there's a family, it's a little bit more discounted. But yeah, now you can also attend our races without being a member. Just your race fee is just a little bit higher to get in the race. Okay.
No, that's perfectly understandable. I totally get that. So that's a great concept and a great idea. So promotion is one of the things, trying to reach out to local communities. Now, I seen, has the NEATV, do they do night races, or is that something they've done in the past, something you guys maybe you'll do in the future or have on the schedule? Like I say, I'm kind of familiar with it, but I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, no, I don't believe they've ever done any night racing, anything like that. There has been a couple tracks. I think it was Twister Valley. They did do some night dirt bike, pit bike racing, but it wasn't really part of any ATV.
Okay. Well, there's something that if you got an opportunity, I think that right there might be a cool thing to do. That I think honestly, going back to the Balance Night Show, I know there were some things that could have been better about that. We did a night ATV race on the National Series one time that was I thought a huge success, and I feel that it'd be something that hopefully we could have done more in the future. But at times we're still running the National Series, so it could still happen. You never ever know. Not this year, obviously, but it could happen. What was you drinking on there, man? I just saw you take a big drink of something.
Big old Roar energy drink, one of our series sponsors.
Right on. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. They kind of are a pretty good sponsor. I've seen them. They've helped out a few different individual riders and stuff I've seen in the last couple of years. So good to have them on. They're out of that. What is that? The Eastern Pennsylvania area? Is that where they're out of?
Long Island area.
Okay.
Long Island, New York.
Okay. Yep. Well, I knew it was on the East Coast out there someplace, but so nice to have them on board with you guys. And of course, I see you got some great support there with Who's Your Tire. Who are some of the folks that's coming on board with you this year?
Oh, so we got obviously Roar energy drinks, Who's Your Tires. Got lucky, and Nate and Mike down at Walsh Racecraft is actually going to be a series sponsor. We have Factory 43. Impact Solutions, called Casey Greek. He really helped us out and truly appreciate it. Lombardo Motorsports, of course, my company, JBC Utilities, one of the main sponsors. Petroric Electric, a lot of smaller companies, local companies actually contributing also.
That's great. So I imagine as time goes on, we hope to see things grow. You already expecting to exceed 200 in the membership field. Just out of curiosity, say they've had 150 members. Does that translate into 150 riders or individuals, I guess you could say, per race, giving you maybe a couple hundred entries or so per event? How does that work out and translate?
I would think. I would say if we probably went up with 200 members, I would say we probably would have 250, 300 race entries. A lot of guys run multiple classes like they do in the Nationals. Right.
And what is the class structure like up there? Does it kind of mimic what's going on in the national scene so that people, if they're racing one place, they can go race the other and not feel kind of out of the water, so to speak?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have, the 50 through 90 class. Of course, there's shifter CVT, just like Nationals. Then we also have a youth open class like they do with the Nationals. And, of course, A, B, and C classes, age classes, pro sport. So it's pretty similar. Same thing with the UTVs. There's a stock, a 900, and then a turbo class. And then the three-wheelers, basically we run two different classes. Those a novice and we call it pro class.
Let's talk a little bit about that. There's a seems to be a growing group of individuals that are racing the ATCs. Did they approach you about doing that or something?
They did. They actually approached Howard when he still owned it. I think it was a couple years back. Basically left it up to a few of the riders. Hey, if you get enough people, we'll put you on the gate. And they, believe it or not, have been growing in numbers like you cannot believe. Sometimes I've seen 15 of them on the gate.
Right, and you go at Unadilla, they come out of the woodworks. I've seen guys fly from California to race that race before.
Yeah, like I said, it's actually a lot bigger following than I ever even thought of.
Yeah, that is amazing how that happens. But hey, welcome to 2019, I guess you could say. And what I think is really neat about that is that some of the better and faster riders are actually teenagers or early 20-year-old riders. They're not the old typical diehard ATC guys from back in the 1980s out there, trying to show their youth or anything. It's like their kids and their grandkids are out there doing it.
Yeah, no, we definitely have a wide variety. Younger guys, a little bit older guys. And even to see what they do to their machines now. I mean, they're putting dirt bike front ends. I mean, Ben Webb, I think he's got a dirt bike motor in his. I mean, so they're doing the same stuff we're doing to our quads to make their trikes, faster, better show. Right.
Sounds like a really interesting concept. And how can people do they have a website? I'm sure. Do you know how to, if somebody's got an old ATC and they've been thinking about it or want to come check it out or see more about it, do you have any information to get a hold of those folks or anything like that?
I think Ben Webb seems to be the ringleader of all these guys, at least up here on the East Coast. I think it's ATV Animals is his website. Yep.
ATV Animals. That sounds like a perfect name for it, for sure. What about NEATV? How do we, you've already mentioned it, I know, but let's get the website again.
So it's www.neatv-mx.com.
And you guys obviously on social media, as you said, you're trying to promote there. So folks are going to want to follow you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that.
No, absolutely. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. Haven't done Twitter yet, but that's a good idea.
Well, you might get the attention of our good president if he seems to be the one that utilizes Twitter the most anyway these days. I can't keep up with the social media thing. I got to hire somebody. I've been talking to Logan Tremelin, because I'm like, hey, man, I know how to work a computer, but this whole social media thing has just gotten like way ahead of me. But hopefully I'm reaching enough people that they're reaching out and helping spread the word out here and getting this stuff going. But Jim, really, really nice to talk to you today. I really like what you got going on up there. I do. I know it's a big task, brother, that you're undertaking right now. A lot of northeastern thing, it may seem like, but it's bigger. It's big. It really is what you're doing up there. It could be huge. It could set a standard in the future. I realize that, I like the way you're not coming in and saying, we're going to blow it out of the water. This is going to be the greatest thing in the world. You're starting at a ground level. You mentioned the word core and core group. That is, I believe, in my opinion, what builds something strong is good core. I think that's what you're building off of, and I really hope that's what you continue to build off of, and it really expands and grows. And I think with that kind of attitude, I really honestly believe it will. I think the numbers, we got a lot of East Coast riders that will have things they'll be looking to do, and they'll have places to go. I'm just really excited for what you got going on there, Jim. I know especially after talking to you, I feel really good about what NEATV is heading into. But I also know that you're going to have a lot of obstacles. You're going to have a lot of mountains to climb. And I just want you to know that we're here to help in any way that we can, the voice of the ATV racing nation, and spreading what love that we can. But I'm just going to say, chin up, man, no matter how many licks you're going to take, because they're going to come at you. ATV racing is a hard place to be, and being a promoter, it's going to be tough, and people are going to be looking at you. They're going to be putting you under a microscope. They're going to be things maybe said that are true or aren't true, blown out of proportion. Just have thick skin, okay?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty thick-skinned, like I said, from just being in business and whatnot. And so it's gonna be a big hurdle to get over, but like I said, we're up for the task.
I really believe that you are, and I'm losing. I just know. Oh, I'm falling apart here in the studio right now. getting excited, I guess you could say. The energy is pretty high. I'm kind of at a loss for words, because I want to say something monumental that's going to strike a chord in everybody's mind and in your heart, and give you something to go for. But I think that you've got the love already there. I know that it stems from your son Cole, obviously, and what he wants to do. But I have a feeling that it goes much deeper than that. I think that if Cole quits tomorrow, I don't think that you're going to be ready to quit tomorrow. Am I wrong? Am I right? Tell me that.
No, like I said, me and my wife love the sport. We love our moto family. We, like I said, we just truly enjoy going to the races.
That's great. So, like I say, I mean, obviously we do things for our kids. Hopefully your kid stays on board with this. Is he pretty stoked? How's Cole feeling about all this?
He's pretty excited. Like he's real excited. He's been just finished up his bike last night. We're actually heading to North Carolina tomorrow with it. That, and also with the UTV to get some seat time in.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Where are you guys riding at in North Carolina?
I think we're going to try to go to Deep Woods MX and probably hit a few other facilities around. Yep, 5 Points and places like that.
Nice, very nice. Well, if you happen to be around well, it's probably not built for woods bike racing, but if you happen to be around, we'll be at the GNCC in Morganton, North Carolina this coming weekend for the Steel Creek GNCC. That'll get him a little bit of extra seat time.
Yeah, I would.
I don't know if you've been paying any attention. Obviously, Wesley Wolf, AMA Pro ATV and XC1 GNCC racer, he's had some really strong rides, top 10 finishes this year. Hasn't necessarily set the world on fire, but he will. But what about the Phoenix Honda guys, man? Grayson, Eller, and Noah Mickelson. Those guys been College B and College A class. I think Grayson may have clipped a tree and took himself out, but he's been leading and been doing great. Noah's just been phenomenal. And Hayden, I think he wore himself out at the Florida GNCC for the ATV Supercross in Daytona, but he was back at it again the next weekend in Georgia. So he's riding 4x4 class. So we got a lot of GNCCers that are starting to make their way up. Dan Dakota, I don't know if you know Daniel Dakota or not. He's racing GNCC now. Some of the
that's a tough sport too.
Yeah, some of the old media all-star guys. We got old doggone it. Their names are eluding me right off the bat, but we got some media all-star guys that are. Jeremy Ladon is racing and doing quite well. Actually, Jeremy Ladon races both 4 and 2 wheels, believe it or not, and does pretty good on both. Yeah, man, if you're down there, come on over. Come and watch, if nothing else. I think that you're going to enjoy it. And I guess that's my plug for GNCC racing as well while we're on here. And again, I do want to reiterate before Larry Mills kills me because of my falling banner back here. Quad Radio is me, Rodney Tomlin. It is not anything to do with any organizations like that promote or anything like that. I am here for the sport, And I just want to see the sport grow. And every opinion that I have is my personal opinion. So don't hold it against guys like Jim. Don't hold it against the National ATV Series, the Southeast Quads, Dee and those guys down in Texas and Oklahoma, or Rob and those guys over in D6. Don't hold anything that I say about anything, sponsors or anything. It's all me. It's all on me. I just want to let people know that. And but like I say, my heart is in it. I want to see this sport grow. I want you to do well, Jim. I want the New England ATV Series Championship to do well, and I want to see things prosper. I want to see another heyday. I've seen this cycle around a couple different times, and I think we got one more in us, and it's people like you that are going to make it happen, my friend. So I want to say thanks to you and everybody out there that is working to make these local and regional championships what they are, because that's what's going to save ATV racing, my friend.
Oh, I can't agree more.
Jim, any parting shots, any words that you want to say? I've gotten up on my soapbox today.
No, like I said, just hopefully people come out and attend the NEATV series, you know, whether it be side-by-side, your three-wheeler or your four-wheeler. We'd love to have you. Always got stuff going on for kids and whatnot. And like I said, we just hope everybody can come up and help support and hopefully make the whole industry grow.
Well, things are shaking up, as you can see here in the Quad Radio studios. It's all falling apart here, but it's only because it's getting ready to expand and get bigger and better, just like ATV racing. Jim, really appreciate what you guys got going on. We'll follow along. We'll check back in with you hopefully throughout the season and see how things are going. Maybe you'll have something extra special to share with us in the future, okay? Sure.
No, absolutely. Can't look forward to waiting to hear from you.
All righty. Sounds good. Well, I'm Rodney Tomlin. This is a Falling Apart Quad Radio studio. That's Jim Wuelenweber. Thanks a lot for joining us here on Quad Radio.